Hello, this is Candy with eyes2jesus.blogspot.com and welcome to my very detailed 2022 planner setup. This will be my January planner tour as well as showing you what I have gone into 2022 in, and I'll tell you what, I am loving the planner that I have set up a lot, like a lot. So first though, I thought I would just grab some planners really quick here that I have set off to the side and show you what my contenders were. Now, I was really kind of stuck between 4 different sizes on what I wanted to go into. I already knew I wanted rings. Now, strings tempted me a little bit with my traveler's notebook, but then I just needed to remember how it wouldn't lay open. I always had to put a book clip in there to keep it open all the time, and that was inconvenient. But the size was very convenient, so that's still a bit of a temptation. But I decided, okay, I'm going into 2022 in rings. Rings is what I always go back to. Obviously, rings is my thing. So then it was, okay, well, what size? So one of the contenders was A7 Pocket. And specifically this one. This is an A7 pocket size Moterm Luxe planner, and it's got 30 millimeter rings. It comes with that, and this gray Croco is absolutely gorgeous. So this is was a big contender for my 2022. And then I was like, well, yeah, but then Franklin Covey Compact is a very good size. And I mean, check out this Blue Mirage colored compact vintage Aurora. Absolutely gorgeous. The leather feels great. The leather smells great. It comes with some good sized rings. But then I have this Moterm Non-Luxe regular personal size in blue croc. This has got to be probably my most favorite croc planner that I have out of all of the Moterm crocs. I like it even better than the gray croc. This blue Moterm croc is gorgeous. And this is, for some reason, I don't know if it's this specific one or not, but this is way softer than all of my other Moterm crocs. They feel kind of plasticky. This one really does feel like a nice leather. It has an amazing feel. Okay, and then the 4th size I was considering is Franklin Covey Classic size. And that's because the classic size is half US letter size sheet of paper, because that's really handy, that's easy to print for, and it's not that too terribly big. I was thinking no on this originally because, I mean, I like to keep my wallet in my planner, and taking this out of my purse each time to get the money out might be tricky. But not really necessarily in this Rider binder. It's an open binder. It's got an amazing, good feeling leather to it. It slides in and out of the purse nicely, and then I just have to open it up. Since there's no straps, snaps, or zips, I just open it up. So this ended up being one of the major contenders. So the size that I did decide upon is Franklin Covey Compact, because I like personal size, but I wish the pages were a bit more wider. Personal size pages are kind of long and narrow, and while I kind of like that in a standard size traveler's notebooks, not so much in rings. And the Franklin Covey Classic size, it was still just a bit big and bulky for me. And while I love the Moterm's A7 pocket size, it's just not feasible for me. Where I am in this season in life, I need a lot of space to be writing, and I need to keep a lot of things in my planner, and so that isn't just isn't feasible. So then I narrowed down, okay, I'm going to go into a Franklin Covey Compact Ring Planner. Then I decided, well, I'm really loving Croco. So, okay, so what planners besides Franklin Covey also make Croco planners that fit Franklin Covey Compact inserts? And I came down with 3 finalists for which planner I was going to keep my Franklin Covey Compact inserts in. And they're all three different companies. So let me show you them. So I have here my 3rd place winner is this. And this is a Moterm personal size wide luxe. And it comes with 30 millimeter rings, but I took out the 30 millimeter rings and put in 1.5 inch rings, which makes this fabulous for Franklin Covey size. And this is the cream croc, in case I didn't say that. We joke around and call it the cream of the croc. And if you're on the fence between a cream croc or a taupe croc, in my personal opinion, the cream croc is the one that rocks. So this was my 3rd place contender. My 2nd place contender was a Franklin Covey compact. Oh, wait till you see this. Look at that. This is a Franklin Covey compact green croc zip, and it has a back zip pocket on it. It's got nice 1.25 inch rings, and look at that shade of green in that croc pattern. So you can see why this was a definite contender of one of the planners for me to move into for 2022. So I tried out both of these planners for a while and used my planner in both of them, along with the 3rd contender, which is the 1st place winner that you'll see in just a moment, to figure out which one works best. Because I love how all 3 of my finalists look, 2nd place, 3rd place, and you'll see 1st place in a moment. I love how they feel. They're all easy in the hand. They all fit in my purse. Problem is, the thing is, I needed to go with the one that worked best with the way I use my planner, but also the 1st place planner is even so much more cooler than these. I mean, I get all giddy and happy just looking at the thing, so that's how I know. Now, the 1st place planner that I'm about to show you, and that is the planner I'm going into 2022 with, that I've started into 2022 with, and that I am loving a lot, is a planner. I've seen pictures of it online. I've seen a few YouTube planner tours with it, and I always loved it when I saw it, but I never really knew what it was or where to get it. But I went back and I looked it up on some videos, found it, paid attention to the videos to find out what kind of planner it is, then looked up its type and found where to get it, and I got it, and I am absolutely not disappointed. So, drum roll please, let's bring on the planner that is going into my 2022 with me. The planner that I am in is, are you ready for this? This beauty. Isn't it strikingly beautiful? You see, if you've watched many of my planner videos, especially through the years, then you know I love buckles, but I also really like Croco. So what do we have here? I have a croc with a buckle together. Yes! So if you are wondering what type of planner this amazing beauty is, this is not a Franklin Covey planner, but this planner does fit Franklin Covey compact inserts. This is an Ali Rayaz planner. All right, and I got this from alirayaz.com, very reasonably priced. And it's almost like this planner was designed for me. There would be just a few minor tweaks I would make if I were designing it, but I actually, my husband and I made a few modifications to it already. So this is a modified Ali Rayaz planner. The first modification, if you're familiar with the Ali Rayaz planners that you might have noticed, is the buckle. The black croc comes with a silver buckle, but my buckle is gold. Okay, well, if you're familiar with the old Daytimer Malibu planners that came with the buckles, this is the exact same buckle. So the Daytimer Malibu buckles and the Ali Rayaz buckles are completely interchangeable. I love that. I love these kind of buckles a lot. So, you know, I have a small collection of Daytimer Malibu planners, and both their classic size and their portable size, same size buckle, all interchangeable. So most Daytimer Malibu planners came with silver buckles, but the very last one that they put out before they stopped doing the Malibus had rose gold buckle, and the second to the last one they put out came with a gold buckle. So I just grabbed the gold buckle off of that one, and I put this one silver buckle on that one, so I don't want to be losing buckles, and I put the gold buckle on this. So that's fabulous. Now the second modification I made was this came with 30 millimeter rings. That's just shy of 1.25 inches. But I wanted to know if there's any way I could have bigger rings in here. Just a little bit more room, but I still needed my tabs and inserts not to be sticking out, because this is a narrow footprint. So the Ali Rayaz, it's called the Ali Rayaz Personal Size Planner, will fit personal inserts. It'll fit the Michael's Recollection inserts and the Agenda 52 personal inserts. and it'll fit Franklin Covey compact inserts, which is what I am using. And if you do top tabs instead of side tabs, it'll also fit personal wide. So I got this for the Franklin Covey compact inserts. It's a nice narrow footprint. In fact, let me show you a comparison. So here is a Franklin Covey standard size compact size. Okay, so if I place the Ali Rayaz in front of it here, there, you can see the Franklin Covey is wider. So the tabs will come right up to the edge in this, but that's actually how I like it. I like to have a nice small footprint, the smallest footprint I can get for the most stuff in here, and for the compact size is great. So what I did was, I have gold rings in here. This came with silver rings and silver buckle. I now have gold buckle and gold rings. By the way, it's great with the silver too. If you can't get gold hardware, it's fabulous either way. All right, so I have oval 1.3 inch rings. Now, if you're going to go bigger than your 30 millimeters in here, then the rings are going to have to be D-shaped or oval-shaped, or everything's going to stick out. So I had oval 1.3 inch rings, which works in here because this has got a nice ample spine. But the rings I had these metal pedestals attached to the back of the spine of the rings, which made the rings, when I put them in, they'd stand out a bit, which would push out my tabs, and it would make it so that the ring mechanism didn't lay flat or flush against the spine like how I like it. So my husband did a modification for me. He took his Dremel tool and he cut off those two pesky pedestals, and then he put on a really thin washer over the hole in each place instead so that it wouldn't cut into my material in my planner. And now I have 1.3 inch oval rings in here, gold, and they're flush to the spine just how I like it. So that's the modifications that we made for my modified Ali Rayaz planner. And I highly, highly recommend these. This was like, I think, $59.99 or so, which is amazing, and it's great. So anyways, it comes in, the last I looked, you can get the Croco in black or gray, and then she's also got a really fancy suede one. I hate suede, but which is a non-Croco, and that one is expensive. So you see, and each one, it's like with the Filofax Crocs, where each one you get is going to have a different croc pattern. It's not like the Moterms where they all have the same repeated pattern unless you get a different generation, then it has that generation's patterns. This one is more like the Filofaxes in that it's like each planner is unique. And the Croco pattern that I happen to get on this one is my favorite. It's one I've always wanted, and I got it. See, so often Crocos will have the bigger Croco print over here on the open side and the smaller on the spine side. I like it reverse, and that is what I happen to get here. So I'm really happy with that. I have the bigger Croco towards the spine and the smaller towards the front, and I really, really like that look a lot. So this is a vegan leather, but my goodness, I was kind of freaking out when I first touched this leather when I got out of the box. It feels amazing. And this is a moderately structured binder. Now, it's not fully structured, but it's not lightly structured. Like the Franklin Covey Anna's lightly structured. But fully structured, let me grab an example here. Here we go. The non-vintage Auroras. That's fully structured. There's not a whole lot of bend. Okay, so that's fully structured. The Ali Rayaz is mildly structured, and there's some padding in there. And what I'm liking, or moderately structured, what I'm liking about the moderate structure is I've got this baby stuffed, but because it's a fairly moderate structure, it's not butterflying out from the strap, okay, as to where when you have a less structured binder that's very stuffed, like I always have mine stuffed, they would butterfly out. Now the lightly structured ones like the Anna do butterfly out, but you can train them by squeezing in the corners regularly, and that's what I did with my Annas. I showed you the Croco covers, all right, and then in the back you got a little plate with the name on there, the brand Ali Rayaz. The spine is pebbled. So you got Croco on the covers, this amazing buckle, and then the spine is pebbled. That's great because, you know, with Moterm, they have Croco or pebbled, and I like both. It's hard to choose. So with this one, it's great because it's Croco and pebbled. So you got the Croco covers, the pebbled spine, and the inside's pebbled. And it's got the buckle. So I love it. So, and then it's a faux buckle. It's a snap. So buckle is decorative, and I love it. Now, the inserts that I have inside here are the Franklin Covey compact size sandstone inserts. So I wanted to show you some of the other stuff that come with the inserts that I'm not currently using much of. I'm using some of them. And then we'll get into the planner. So the sandstone inserts are a little bit pricey, but you're not just getting your tabbed calendars on 2 pages and then your choice of if you want weekly, daily, day on 2 page, etc. Inserts for your planning, but you get extra pages as well. You get a whole big stack of compass cards, and it's perforated here in the middle, so it's actually 2, and then the holes rip off. It's perforated there too, that you put inside your Franklin Covey compact or your Franklin Covey compass page finder. I'll show you mine in the tour, and in the back they have notes. Now what I do is I fold it in half and just rip off the holes, and I just use the notes on both sides. But the compass, if you fully use their system and you use all of their suggestions, these are compass cards you'd be filling out and putting in each week. All right, and then some other things it comes with is if you don't want to make your own dividers and you don't want to shop around Etsy shops or Amazon looking for dividers made for you, the sandstone insert comes with dividers. All right, so these are all the dividers it comes with. Okay, it comes with a whole bunch. So it comes with a divider for planning calendars. That's where you can put your planner behind. And then it comes with a divider called Planner Guide. And in there, it just gives you a whole bunch of info on how to use your planner, how to set it up, how to fill out some of the other worksheets and some of the other sections it comes with, etc. See, and then the third divider it comes with is values and mission. And then in values and mission, it comes with different activities you fill out. Activity 1, values, activity 2, roles, etc. See, and although look, there's activity 6, evaluation questions, activity 7, personal mission statement. So you fill out these worksheets and it helps you come up with your own personal mission statement. You can also use Franklin's mission statement builder on their website. I'm not sure where that is, but you can Google it. Okay, and then their next divider is goals, and they come with goal worksheets. Here's a sample goal planning page to show you how to use it, and then you have goal planning worksheets that you can use. And then the next divider is finances. So, and inside finances, you get various budgeting sheets for your finances. And then the next divider is key information, and they give you various information pages. I only have the weights and measurement pages here, but there's like automobile log and a whole bunch of other random pages, a medical log, etc. that they come with. And then you have this called The 7 Habits. This goes with the book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. If you haven't read it, I very much suggest it. Man, is it a good read. But even if you haven't read it, this is still great to have. And behind this tab, it's just a review. A whole bunch of pages here are a review of the 7 Habits book. It's fabulous. All right, and then after that you have dividers labeled 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's where you can make your own sections and put some of your own things behind them. And then the last divider is address and phone, and they do provide you with a whole bunch of contact sheets. You also have like other sheets, like a perpetual calendar sheet. You have, like I said, phone and address sheets. You have a website tracker sheets. I'm using a lot of these sheets in my planner. I can't show them because contacts and website info is all private. But I am using those sheets. I do not use their budgeting sheets. I just like to do my own system. And I don't use our perpetual calendar because I just have mine typed out that I print out each year and stuff like that. But I just wanted to let you know it comes with a whole bunch of other inserts and dividers already made for you. And they're classy looking. I mean, it's a nice looking divider that already comes for you. So they got you if you want to go with them. You know, when you buy the inserts, they come with everything you need to go ahead and get your planner started. You don't have to buy all these extra separate things, okay? So not all of their inserts come with that stuff. Some of them, for example, like the Blooms, do not, and that's why they're cheaper. So you'd buy the Blooms, and it's just the planning stuff. If you want the extra stuff, you have to buy a starter pack, which is separate, and then you'll have the extra stuff. These also come with, as well as I think all their inserts, as far as I know, they come with future planning pages for a few to several years in advance. You have calendars for all of next year, and then you have smaller calendars for years after that for future planning. I don't use those because that takes up room in my rings. I just have one sheet of paper that I use, a filler paper that I label for future planning that you'll see. So I wanted to show you that before we get into this beauty. Now, going inside. So when you first open my planner, this is what you'll see. So, there's 14 card slots in this between the front and back inside covers. So I don't have something in every single one of them. All right. So here on this bottom pocket, I just have a magnetic heart clip from my planner stash. I have a journaling card from my planner stash. I have an ollie clip. And then sticking out of this pocket right here, these are Avery hole reinforcement stickers. And what these are used for is if any of your pages rip off the rings, but you still need them in your planner, you stick these over it to make a new hole. These ones are colored ones. I think I have just plain white ones too, and then these ones are just plain white ones. What's neat is you can also use the colored ones to highlight dates on your monthly calendar if you want. You can put this around the date, and it looks like you have a highlighted circle around the date. So I like having both the color and the white ones for that. Okay, and then this card slot here, these are Avery labels, and I'm currently just using the white labels, but I've used the colored ones too. I prefer the white. Sometimes I can't get the white, and then I use the colored ones. And these are great if you're writing something down that you can put on your calendar, but you're not sure of it, or it might move to a different date. Then you write it down on this, so you can stick that on your calendar, and then if that ends up getting canceled or gets moved to a different date, you just peel it off and move it to where you want to. These peel off easily, but they still stick well. These are also great if a plan changes that you have written in pen, either on your calendar or on your planning page. Just stick this over what got canceled and then rewrite and just continue on. So that's great. And these are also good for covering up mistakes in your planning. So Avery labels. And by the way, so the labels and these next things, these are usually the only stickers I use. All right, and then I have Avery 1/4 inch dots. Now these ones are harder for me to find with these colors. Usually I have to do their neon colors. When I run out of these, if I can't find any more of these, I'll go back to their neon colors, which I am fine with. But these I mostly use on my monthly planning calendars to just mark special occasions, certain anniversaries, birthdays, appointments, etc. And what I do is I'll take one of the dots, I'll stick it over the number of the date on the monthly calendar, and then I rewrite that date on the dot, and that draws my attention to it, and then I just write down next to it, of course, you know, what it signifies. So these are the stickers that I use in my planner. I usually don't decorate, and I usually don't use any other stickers but these. Okay, so that's all I have in the front card slots. There's 7. I'm using 4 of them. Okay, and then it has 2 secretarials on the front and back. So inside this first secretarial is my mission statement from last year's, I believe, January planner tour, which I started in with a Franklin Covey pocket size planner. Franklin Covey pocket size is not A7. They use A6 size rings, but the pages are smaller than A6. So this is Franklin Covey pocket size and laminated, and it was my mission statement from last year. It's still the same. I just keep it in there, and it matches this, which is cute. And then back here in this back secretarial pocket, this is the thank you card that you get when you order an Ali Reyes planner. And I just think these planners, her planners are so beautiful. So I like the picture, and it's I mean, you hear that? That is one thick card slot. I'm in cardstock. So I stick that in the back secretarial, and then when I have any bills that are waiting to be paid that I have in paper, then I'll just fold them up and I stick them behind this. So that's what I use the front for. All right, now my first page, this is laminated. This works as my front page lifter. It's also my front dashboard, my front inspiration page, my front welcome page, etc. And I just printed out some scriptures, stuck them on some pretty scrapbook paper, laminated. Okay, and the scriptures are labeled Christian supplications. And all the scriptures in my planner are in the Young's Literal Translation. So here's the scriptures I have. All right, because of this I say to you, all whatever praying ye do ask, believe that ye receive, and it shall be to you. Mark 11:24. Remember, these are Christian supplication scriptures. All right, rejoice in the Lord always. Again, I will say rejoice. Philippians 4:4. For nothing be anxious, but in everything by prayer and by supplication with thanksgiving let your requests be made known unto God. And the peace of God that is surpassing all understanding shall guard your hearts and your thoughts in Christ Jesus. Philippians 4:6-7. And we have known that to those loving God all things do work together for good, to those who are called according to purpose. Romans 8:28. And whatever we may ask, we receive from him, because his commands we keep, and the things pleasing before him we do. And this is his command, that we may believe in the name of his Son Jesus Christ, and may love one another, even as he did give command to us. That's 1 John 3:22 through 23. So I like to keep my Christian supplication scriptures on the front. Turning the page. Okay, so on the other side, I have two more scriptures. All right, and I'll read these to you. So this one is women preachers, and this is Romans 16:1 through 2, which says, "And I commend you to Phoebe, our sister, being a ministrant of the assembly that is in Cenchrea, that ye may receive her in the Lord, as doth become saints, and may assist her in whatever matter she may have need of you. For she also became a leader of many, and of myself." And then this one down here I labeled woman pastors, and this is from 1 Timothy 5:16 through 17. And that says, "If any believing man or believing woman have widows, let them relieve them, and let not the assembly be burdened, that those really widows it may relieve. The well-leading elders of double honor, let them be counted worthy, especially those laboring in word and teaching." All right, then my next page, this is laminated scrapbook paper, and I have our current family photo on here. This is a photo we took on Thanksgiving. Every Thanksgiving, we like to take a family photo. And then on the other side of that is a current couples picture of my husband and I. We took this on our 24th wedding anniversary, which was in the end of November. And you notice that this sheet of paper, I have a little tab sticking on the top. That's because right after this is my grocery list, as it is labeled, grocery list. So this is just so if I just need to open up and turn to my grocery list, I can open my planner, grab that top tab, flip it, boom, right to my grocery list. So let me turn to a blank one here. So this grocery list paper is from a magnetic list pad from Dollar Tree. I just trimmed it shorter and punched it and put it in. So this is my grocery list paper. And so, yeah, I just keep several sheets up here. I write things down on these pieces of paper when I'm low or out of something. Then I'll write it down here. And then the day before I plan to get groceries, I will make my menu plan, and then I'll go over what I wrote down, and then I will look at my master grocery list. That helps remind me if I'm forgetting anything. And then I'll rewrite the grocery list on the next sheet of grocery list paper in the order of the aisles in the store of which I shop. And then that will be my grocery list that I'll take with me to the store. So after that, we come to my first homemade divider. All right. And this divider is labeled home. And this is my homemaking section. You see, my planner has my wallet, my home management binder, my budgeting, my notebook. It's got everything in it. So that's one of the reasons why it's nice to have bigger rings. So going inside home, the very first page in here, I needed something to fill up this page because I wanted the next two pages side by side. So I put a poem here. And this is an old famous poem. It's called Do the Next Thing. Nobody knows who wrote it, so Do the Next Thing by Anonymous. And it says, "From an old English parsonage down by the sea, there came in the twilight a message to me. Its quaint Saxon legend, deeply engraven, hath it seems to me, teaching from heaven. And on through the doors the quiet words ring, like a low inspiration. Do the next thing. Many a questioning, many a fear, many a doubt hath its quieting here. Moment by moment let down from heaven, time, opportunity, and guidance are given. Fear not tomorrows, child of the King. Trust them with Jesus. Do the next thing. Do it immediately. Do it with prayer. Do it reliantly, casting all care. Do it with reverence, bracing his hand, who placed it before thee with earnest command. Stay it on omnipotence, safe neath his wing. Leave all results. Do the next thing. Looking for Jesus, ever serener, working or suffering be thy demeanor. In his dear presence, the rest of his calm, the light of his countenance be thy psalm. Strong in his faithfulness, praise and sing. Then as he beckons thee, do the next thing. So I've always loved that poem, so I thought this was a great place to put it here in my planner. Now, the next two pages, I wanted them side by side. These are my daily tasks. Okay, so I have it for each day of the week, and then I have weekends. All right, so the top thing on my list are in italics, and these are non-house cleaning things, just things I like to get handled. Like on Tuesdays, I like to film. Today is Tuesday, and I am filming. And then I have some like cleaning tasks, and then some of the days inside brackets have garden tasks to do when I have my garden going, which of course I don't right now. For example, on Tuesdays, it would be to deadhead and weed trim. But no garden right now. It is January. All right, and then and then I have some like Alts 1, Alts 2, Alts 3 cleaning, things that I alternate in my cleaning. And remember, I have my children, my teens, who also do cleaning around the house too. All right, so those are my main daily tasks. Now the next page, these are my children's cleaning chores and my children's table chores. These are what they do after meals to help clean up. And in this envelope, I just keep a little bit of money in here for any paid chores that they may do. And then if they do paid chores, on this sheet of paper here, I just track. I just write it down and track their paid chores. And this is just another sheet of paper from Dollar Tree from a magnetic list pad. I just trimmed it shorter, punched it, and popped it in. All right, and then after that, I have another inspiration page. This one is a scripture. So let me read this one to you. A woman of worth who doth find, yea, far above rubies is her price. The heart of her husband hath trusted in her, and spoil he lacketh not. She hath done him good and not evil all days of her life. She hath sought wool and flax, and with delight she worketh with her hands. She hath been as ships of the merchant. From afar she bringeth in her bread. Yea, she riseth while yet night, and giveth food to her household, and a portion to her damsels. She hath considered a field, and taketh it. From the fruit of her hands she hath planted a vineyard. She hath girded with might her loins, and doth strengthen her arms. She hath perceived when her merchandise is good. Her lamp is not extinguished in the night. Her hands she hath set forth on a spindle, and her hands have held a distaff. Her hands she hath spread forth to the poor, yea, her hands she sent forth to the needy. She is not afraid of her household from the snow, for all her household are clothed with scarlet. Ornamental coverings she hath made for herself, silk and purple are her clothing. Known in the gates is her husband, and is sitting with elders of the land. Linen garments she hath made, and selleth, and a girdle she hath given to the merchant. Strength and honor are her clothing, and she rejoiceth at a latter day. Her mouth she hath opened in wisdom, and the law of kindness is on her tongue. She is watching the ways of her household, and bread of sloth she eateth not. Her sons have risen up and pronounce her happy, her husband, and he praiseth her. Many are the daughters who have done worthily. Thou hast gone up above them all. The grace is false, and the beauty is vain. A woman fearing Jehovah, she may boast herself. Give ye to her of the fruit of her hands, and her works do praise her in the gates. And that's Proverbs chapter 31, verses 10 through 31. And then after that, again, I have 2 pages I like to keep side by side, and these are my deep cleaning and organization projects. And I have a lot of things on repeat that I want to get to more often. It's like cleaning the cars, for example, is one of the things that shows up every so many times on here to make sure I get to it. And then I have my master grocery list. And this, I just skim through it when I'm making my grocery list for the week. And this helps remind me if there's anything maybe that I don't have written down, but that I do need to get, something that I'm forgetting. That's all I use that for. And then I have a list here of breakfast ideas, and I like to have 1 or 2 suggested sides with each thing. So where this one left off is baked pancakes and bananas. And then I have lunch ideas, and this is left off at beans and cheese and a pepper and onion salad and some apples. And then I have supper ideas, and this one is left off at pizza casserole, lima beans, and pickles. And why I have these breakfast, lunch, and supper ideas is because they help me in making my weekly menu. And so my weekly menu, I usually go off of these to help me write it out each week. And this week's menu is just Monday through Thursday because I'm going to see if I can get groceries on Friday. And we also have leftovers that we've been eating from the New Year's feast. So it's just a short menu here. All right, and then this paper, by the way, Home Sweet Home, really cute. This again is just more magnetic list pad paper trimmed down and punched from Dollar Tree. Okay, and then I have my Thanksgiving and New Year's menus. I generally host almost always for Thanksgiving and New Year's, so I have the menus here of what I make. And then we come to this page. I have a little side tab on here so I can turn to it quickly when needed because this is to my recipes. Now, I don't have all my recipes in here. A lot of them are in my head, and ones that I make very rarely, I just go to my cookbooks for. But these are my main recipes, and I have them numbered. So this is the table of contents to my recipes, and my recipes are divided into sections. So my table of contents is just to the sections, and then inside each section, my recipes are in alphabetical order. And some of my recipes are titled kind of a bit strangely, but it works for how it works in my mind. So you might notice that as we go through the recipes quickly. But the sections in my table of contents here are quick go-tos, breads and breakfasts, main meals, sides, baking, and special. So let's say, for example, I was going to make meatloaf for supper, so I wanted to turn to my meatloaf recipe. Well, that's going to be in main meals, which starts on page 9. So I turn to page 9, main meals. Now, meatloaf, well, it's in alphabetical order, so I need to turn to M for meatloaf. L-M-N, so meatloaf is right here. Meatloaf is after lentils and rice, and it is before no noodle lasagna. So I will just quickly read through the recipes that I keep in my planner. So I have, under quick go-tos, biscuits, bread, chocolate, vanilla, or other type chia pudding, jam, pancake syrup, pizza crust. Under breads and breakfasts, I have almond bread, banana bread, baked custard, baked French toast, baked oatmeal, baked pancakes, breakfast sponge cake, egg bread, egg casserole, granola, persimmon bread, and unleavened bread. And then under main meals, my biggest section, I have baked chicken breast, baked chicken drumsticks, baked fish, beef and rice, black bean burgers, cheeseburger casserole, chicken and dumplings, cowboy beans, creamy potato soup, crock pot beef stew, crock pot chili, goulash, hamburger stew, Hungarian goulash, lentil and rice casserole, lentils and rice, meatloaf, no noodle lasagna, pizza casserole, salmon loaf, tuna patties, white chicken chili, zucchini casserole. And then my next section is sides, and under sides I have baked acorn squash, baked or roasted zucchini, baked spaghetti squash, butternut squash, roasted Brussels sprouts, sweet potato fries, and sweet spinach salad. And then under baking I have blondies, chocolate cake, ginger cookies, oatmeal cookies, pie crust, pineapple upside down cake, and vanilla buttercream frosting. And then my last section is special. This is a lot of things that mostly I cook them on holidays. So I have baked macaroni and cheese, bread stuffing, broccoli marinade, cabbage salad, cheesy potato bacon casserole, cherry limeade, coconut vanilla or chocolate custard pie, cranberry or other types of cobbler, eggnog, election cake, lemonade, pumpkin pie, Russian apple pie, sweet potato casserole. And then page 35 is blank for any new recipes I might be writing down throughout the year. So that's the end of my homemaking section. So my next homemade divider is labeled school. By the way, how I made these dividers, very simple. I just traced them out using my monthly tabs. So I took 2 monthly tabs, like for example, April and May together. I just held them together and traced them on some scrapbook paper. And then I laminated it and just cut it out and punched it and put it in. So that's how I have the tabs. I just traced the monthly tabs. There's 12 monthly tabs. I traced it 2 tabs together, giving me 6 dividers with wide tabs. Okay, so this is my school section. By the way, if you would like to do this and you don't have a laminator, I mean, you can use decorative folders or cardstock from Dollar Tree and then just trace out your dividers and then write on the labels with washi tape. I have a label maker that I got for last Thanksgiving. So my school section, this is my homeschool section. I am a homeschooling mother of 4. Now, 2 of my children are grown. They were homeschooled all the way through. I also now have 2 grandchildren, and my other 2 children are finishing up homeschool. I have one where this is his last year, and then I have a 10th grader. And so homeschool is starting to wind down. It's been many, many years. But this is my homeschool section. Now we homeschool via the Trivium method, and we homeschool Monday through Thursdays, usually taking Fridays off, and we homeschool year-round except for the month of July. Okay, so going inside school, The first page is our homeschool schedule. So in the first column I have labeled doing, and this is just, instead of a time slot, it's more like, okay, what are we doing when we need to be doing school? Okay, and then I have these columns Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So, for example, under doing, after breakfast, we have family Bible study on Mondays and Wednesdays. But then after breakfast on Tuesdays and Thursdays, it's family Bible study and a Latin lesson. See, things like that. And then while I exercise, under doing, all 4 days, they do their chores and then they work on their assignments. And then I have columns for what assignments we do on which day. So that is my homeschool schedule. Okay, in these 2 pages, this is my course of study or curriculum chart for my children for the current school year. So the first column is subjects, what subjects we're teaching for the year. The next column is when. Is it being taught every day? Like, for example, math is daily. Okay, or is it being taught twice a day? Our devotional, we do twice a day. Bible, we do daily, etc. Like grammar, writing, and spelling, we do on Mondays and Wednesdays. And then like Latin, we do on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Okay, so that's the subjects and the when. And then the third column is books and info. So, for example, for grammar, writing, and spelling, when? Mondays and Wednesdays. My 12th grader is doing Christian Liberty Press Applications of Grammar Book 6. My 10th grader is doing Christian Liberty Press Applications of Grammar Book 4, and that has grammar and writing in them. And then for spelling, we are going through the Graded Spelling Lists book. It's on the public domain. So it's free. You can use it online, or I went ahead and paid for a printed out copy. I've had it for years. So that's our course of study, or our curriculum chart for the year. And after that, we have their reading lists for the current school year, and then their copywork assignments. And by the way, copywork assignments, it's mostly Bible verses, but it's also like labeling maps, like labeling the United States map, labeling the continents, listing things like listing the Bible books in order, the capitals, etc. We also have spelling lists and vocabulary words interspersed throughout here. We also have geography worksheet pages and anatomy worksheet pages, etc. that I have interspersed throughout here too, that I hand to them if that's what they're doing for their copywork time. Okay, and then we have Monday's school, Tuesday's school, Wednesday's school, and Thursday's school. And these are, it's just the subject that we're working on for that day and then notes on how much they're doing. Like, for example, for Bible, family Bible study, we go over 1 chapter and then they read 4 chapters on their own. All right, or for example, logic, they read 1 chapter in the logic book, and then they need to answer 3 questions about what they read. So just basic things like that. All right, and then I have a sheet of note paper in case I need to write any notes or in case we're working on any special projects. So I like to keep that there. So my next divider is budget, and this is just as it sounds. This is my budgeting section. So going inside budget, my very first page, I have anonymized here, but it is my budget guide. So we get paid each week. So I just have this giant square here divided into 4, and each square is labeled. That's square number 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I write down, or I have typed up in here, I should say, because this is just printed out, what reoccurring expenses I've assigned to which check. And so I just access this, my budget guide. I reference it when I'm working on the budget. Let me turn to blank paper here. So this is the paper that I'm doing my budgeting on, and you see it's not any printout. Now remember, the Sandstone inserts come with budget paper, so you could use that. I don't. I just have my own system. So I'm just using this colorful graph paper, which again is trimmed and punched from a magnetic list pad from Dollar Tree. And I just write the date of the check up here. Then I look at my budget guide and write down the reoccurring expenses for that check here. Then I look to my monthly calendar and I look at that week and see what appointments or special things are coming up. I write that down here, and I just track my budget right here. And then this last sheet of paper is a sheet of Franklin Covey Sandstone filler paper, and this is being used as a ledger for one of my children in a project that they've been working on. Okay, so my next divider is labeled reference. Red is my favorite color, so I love this divider. Okay, so going inside reference, I just have some notes here, so I just stuck these over as I don't want to take off my sticky notes, as I didn't want to wear out the sticky. But But anyways, so yeah, I just have some anonymization going on here with some stickies on top of my stickies. Okay, but the first page inside my reference guide is table of contents, because most of the pages inside reference is numbered. Okay, so I have gift ideas, birthdays and holidays guide, stock list, perpetual calendar, family information, codes, directions, contacts, health, and then food. Food I don't have labeled with a page number. I just have a top tab sticking out for me to turn to. So these stickies are being unruly, so let me get those off. They're not wanting to stick to my stickies. All right, and then, okay. So the only sections I'm really going to show you in here are, like, for example, my health section. Okay, well, first of all, one of the things that you heard was holiday guide. That's new. I've never had that before. And that's just where I just wrote down lists or time frames of what to do when preparing for birthdays or holidays, such as New Year's, Thanksgiving, July 4th, etc. Okay, and then this is my health section, and these are just some health notes that I keep on my progesterone cream dosage, what to do if I get a UTI, treating an ear infection, etc. Just things like that. Okay, and then the food section has a little top tab here, and this is my food section. I just write down the main foods that I eat most of the time, and then their nutrition information, and it's kind of written in my language, so this isn't something that other people would be able to use. This is working for how my brain works, and I reference this when I am food journaling, which I do off and on. Okay, so like for example, it's time for you to lose that 5 pounds that I gained from Thanksgiving and New Year's. So I am currently food journaling, getting that 5 pounds off. You might have saw that lovely 5 pounds in my New Year's vlog, but not a big deal. When I need to lose a few pounds, I just food journal and track my nutrition. Okay, so this one is for breakfasts and lunches and suppers. Sides, fruits, tomatoes, and squash. And then these sides are vegetables and legumes, other sides, and then other things. And that's the end of my reference section. So my reference section is really where these are things I want to keep in my planner, but they don't each need their own section. So that's why I just keep a table of contents and have the pages numbered and keep them in my reference section. Okay, so my next homemade divider is labeled assorted. So, and it's like a brain dump, miscellaneous, you know, just things like that. So like I have a whole bunch of Bible study notes on the inside of the divider. I have a joke to-do list that I like to just keep in here for grins. So it says to-dos: cook clones, move skeletons to other closet, feed monster under bed, show aliens Arizona, train spiders, let the cat out of the bag, bake Alaska, watch paint dry, speak to brick wall, open can of worms. So it's just a gag to-do list that I wrote up once for a little joke, and I've just always kept it ever since. I just think it's fun. And then I just have, like, some things I have are like some printouts of some articles from my blog at eyes2jesus.blogspot.com that I have in here. And I have a bunch of notes for things with the kids and just brainstorming ideas, etc. So moving past all of those, behind all of that, I then have some filler paper. I have a few sheets of filler paper here for adding more notes. And then after that, this is where I keep my extra filler paper. Like, these are extra sheets for grocery list. These are extra sheets for budget. These are extra sheets for menu. And then I just have some extra standard Franklin Covey filler paper. And that's my assorted section. So now my last main section with the homemade divider is planning. So now we're into the planner portion of my planner. So when we first turn in here, remember I'm using the sandstone inserts. This is a page where normally you would write down, you know, your name, address, phone number, whatever. I never fill those out, so I just stuck on a picture of my husband and I instead. This is one of my favorite pictures. And then on the other side of this cardstock sheet of paper is year at a glance of 2022 and 2023. That's the main reason why I even keep this page in here, is so that I can access the year at a glance. Now, I have all of 2022 in here for a month on 2 pages. and they are all tabbed. They all come tabbed, which I really appreciate, and it's month on 2 pages. So all of 2022 monthlies are in here. So here is my January. I don't have a blank calendar, but this one's close to blank, so you can see what just about blank month on 2 pages look like in the sandstone inserts. So I really appreciate how the top line in each date box is shaded. That's actually very helpful for me. I will write tracking up there, like if I had a headache, then I will write an H in there and put it inside a square, and I'll just track various things with my own personal letter codes to track things there. So I really like that. So anyways, yeah, we have the January. The first page is an index where you can index important information recorded on this month's daily notes. I don't really use those. Sometimes I do, but very rarely. Then we have my January month on 2 pages. And then on the back of each month on 2 pages, you have a master task list, personal and business. I rarely use that either. And then the first page on your planning pages is another index, which is the same thing as the index that you have at the beginning of each month. That way, if you archive your things, and you're going to sometimes have your months and your dailies separate, you have 2 copies. All right, and then I am using day on 2 pages sandstone Franklin Covey compact size. Now, if you're not too familiar with the Franklin Covey compact size, it is wider. Now, it's the same holes and rings as personal size, but it's wider than personal size, but it's not as wide as personal wide. It's right in between. So these page dimensions are perfect in my opinion. As to a personal wide, you start getting a bit square for my tastes. But these page dimensions are great. So personal wide to me seems a bit square, and personal seems a bit tall and narrow. So in my opinion, the Franklin Covey compact size is a perfect in between. Okay, so I keep 1 month at a time of 2 pages in here. So right now, obviously I have January 2 pages in here for the full month. And then once January comes to an end, then I'll switch out and keep February in here. So I have my January pages behind my January calendar. When January comes to an end, then I will move my February pages to behind my February calendar and take out my January pages. Now let's turn to today. So I got my page finder here, and that brings us to today. All right, and then I will go over this blank in a moment so that you can see how these inserts work. So here's my page 1 for today. Here is my compass page finder that I was telling you about, where you can put in the compass cards, or I use the note side and write my own stuff. And then I just have a few decorative stickers inside. These stickers are from Happy Planner Seasons sticker book that I kid you not, I got for $1 at Dollar Tree. In fact, I bought the rest of them out and gave them away, and then kept one of them for myself. Okay. And then this page here, I also have slitted to pop in and out of the rings. This is also laminated. This is my master schedule. So I have multiple columns. So under when, sometimes I'm given a time slot, sometimes it's just a time of day. So morning, 12 p.m., sometimes 1 p.m., afternoon, 4 o'clock p.m., sometimes 5 o'clock p.m., evening, 6:15 p.m., evening into night before bed. Okay, so it's kind of like a block schedule. All right, and then my next column, this is my Monday through Thursday schedule, because remember I homeschool Monday through Thursday, and then I have columns for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Same thing, so I have when, Monday through Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So this is my master schedule, and I go off of this every day unless I can't. Unless things are so different that I can't, in which case I will just write out a schedule over here. All right. And then here is my second page. Now I'm going to flip a few pages over just so we have a nice clean blank day on 2 pages. All right, so let me show you how these day on 2 pages work. All right, first of all, look how beautiful the sandstones are. Now it's kind of a muted color, but it's a really pretty color. They go with just about any planner. I think they go probably with any planner you put them into. So the January ones, we kind of have this light, almost oatmeal type color. Every I believe, every maybe 3 months or so, the color scheme changes. See? And it looks like about every 3 months or so, the color scheme gets a bit darker, which I love. So by the time you're in the last few months of the year, It's really nice. I like that, how it started out kind of lighter, like in January, and then ends up, much darker as you near the end of the year. So I love the sandstone inserts, not just for the decor, but for the use. Now, on your sandstone day and 2-page inserts, the bottom of the first page always has a quote from the 7 Habits book, and then your second page always has just a general quote from their quote database. Okay, so on page 1, you have a little bullet legend at the top, and these are for marking things off. So a check mark if it's completed, point an arrow to it if you're forwarding it to do that task some other time, put an X if it's deleted or canceled. For delegated, you would put, if you want to, the first letter of the person's name, then check it off. When that person has done the task, you delegate it to them, and then in process is a dot. Okay, then here we have that little down arrow leads us to the very first column, and that's the column where you would use a little check-off bullet legend there for checking things off. All right, and then you have another shaded column next to that, and above that it says ABC. This is where you write your ABC priorities. So the things that you must get done that day, you would put a letter A next to. The things that you should get done on that day, you put a letter B next to. The things you could get done that day, you put a letter C next to. And then if you have multiple tasks and they need to be done in a certain order, then you would also just write little numbers next to them, like you would number your A's. This one's going to be A1, A2, A3, etc. B1, B2, B3, etc. Okay, and then also on the sandstone inserts, we're divided into 3 sections, and they're blank. You can label them what you want. You could label it morning, evening, night, morning, afternoon, night, like Erin Condren or Happy Planner Vertical. You can label them whatever you want. I don't label them. Most of the time I just leave them blank. Usually the top section here is just me stuff, tasks that I'd like to get done. The middle section is more like stuff I'm doing with the family or for around the house. And then the bottom here is things that are timed things, or things that I need to delegate or remind family members to do, etc. So that's generally how it's naturally been falling for my mind and how my brain works. Okay, now over here you have your appointment schedule. So it starts at 8 and goes to 7. So if you're a graveyarder, then you could go at 8 p.m. to 7 a.m., but most people, including me, is probably going to do it with 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. And you have a few blank slots above the 8, which I do use, and you have a few blank slots below the 7, which I do use. Or you can write in your own time, or just leave it blank if you know when it's going to be before and after. And for the appointment schedule, now I mentioned when there's days when I just can't use my master schedule, then I'll write out my whole schedule for that day here. Otherwise, I will just write down appointments or things that I want to occur at a specific time. So I had my school slots and meal slots and my morning routine and my evening routine written down here. And then we move on to the second page on our day on 2 pages. Now on the second page here at the top, we have the dates for the previous month and the dates for the next month, okay? And then this is labeled daily notes. And we see we have a shaded area here. This is where you can write little mini labels or do little check-offs, whatever you'd like. Okay, also back on the first page, you notice we're shaded here at the end of the appointment schedule. That's for, you can use those as check boxes if you want to check off things in your appointment schedule. Now I have had times where I've had a day that was so significantly different that I had to keep checking this on my schedule, and then I would just check each thing off as I went down on the altered schedule so I can keep my place. So I appreciate those little checkbox options. But anyways, back to the second page. Now, it's good to have space for writing down notes. I mean, just many times when I needed to write down a phone number, an email address, directions, how to get someplace, someone's name, etc. I write Bible study notes in here too. When I'm reading the Bible, something jumps out at me, I'll write it over in my notes and then I'll transfer it later. Okay, but mainly what I use the second page for is at the top I will write down our breakfast, lunches, and suppers that I will grab from my menus page in my homemaking section. And then if there's any, and then I'll look at the next day's meals. If there's any pre-preparations I need to do the day before, then I'll write that down here too to remind me. And then I'll write down my cleaning tasks and chores from the day from my daily tasks page, my homemaking section. And then I write down my children's cleaning chores for the day. Okay, and then at the very bottom, the bottom 4 lines or so, 3 to 5 lines, on average 4, is where I write down tracking. I'm always tracking stuff. Usually it's regarding health, finances, projects, etc. So I just keep that space open for tracking. Now some Franklin Covey inserts come with a tracking box. The Sandstone inserts do not. That would be the one thing would be cool if they would add, but it doesn't matter. I just track at the bottom of my notes page. All right, and then I usually have some space open up over here. Currently I am using that space for food journaling. I'm going to get off those 5 pounds over the next few weeks of my holiday weight. And then when I'm not using it for food journaling, a lot of times it's left open, or it's there if I need to write down any other notes like I mentioned earlier. Now if this is full of my food journaling and I need to write down extra notes, I have open space over here, usually next to the meals and chores. So it's not a problem, and I could always write down here, which I've never had to do. I could write up here and down here. I've never had to do it, but it's there if I need it. And if I'm busier than that, then I'm just going to grab a sheet of filler paper and pop it in the rings and keep on trucking. Okay, so those are all the planning pages. So now I'm going to move past all of the planning pages, and we're going to go into the back matter of my planner now. So the first page in the back matter this is just a sheet of Franklin Covey filler paper. I have labeled it at the top, Future Planning 2023 Plus. I already have some things on here, so I just have a sticky note over it anonymizing that. Then after that we get into my plastics. I have a zipper pocket and then several top loading pockets, and these top loading pockets I have are great because they have a little flap at the top so nothing's going to slide out. Alright, so I just got some cards and personal things in those. So flipping past all of those, we come to, see, this is one of those top loading pockets I was talking about. I don't know what they're called. I just saw them once on Amazon and bought a pack of them, and I love them a lot. But anyways, recall my wallet is in here. So this is just a little bit of spending cash. And then this is some change. Now, I could use a personal size zipper pocket, but I'm using an A7 pocket size zipper pocket here, and I just altered it by adding a few punches to it to make it fit, because you see when you have change it's gonna dip down like this because gravity. And if it's a pocket size one, I mean if it's a personal size one, the bottom corner can sometimes stick out when you have a lot of change like I do. And then we come to my back page lifter, and then I just have some labels with reoccurring things that I always like to keep. Some extra labels and tabs back here. You can see this page lifter just came right out of my 2021 planner and right into my 22 planner. So these labels and tabs are beat up. I just brought the page lifter over as is. Then we come to the back pockets. Now, the Ali Rayez only comes with one pen loop, but I'm a 2-pen person, and I'm right-handed. So the one pen loop, thankfully, is on the back, which is where I like to grab my main pen from. My secondary pen, which is, I always like to keep a ballpoint, I have on the front, I just have it clipped into the side of the pocket. So it doesn't matter that there's no pen loop up here, this is just as good. So I just clip it into the side of the pocket, it's staying. Okay, and then I got my main pen back here. Currently I'm using a Pilot G207 in the color purple. Usually I write in black, but sometimes I like some color, and I've just been feeling purple lately, so I am currently using a purple pen. Okay, and then in the card slots, again, I don't have them all filled up. Like I said, there's 14 card slots in this planner, 7 in the front and 7 in the back. So I have some of my cards in these card slots, and then right here is some post-it notes that I have up covering some of the blank card slots that's poking up for when I need to do some sticky notes. And then in the first secretarial flap back here, I just have some withdrawal and deposit tickets from my bank, sometimes blank checks when I need to write a check, and then there's some postage stamps. And then I have my washi card that's kind of just poking out on the side. And then this other secretarial pocket, I just have just some papers that I like to keep in my planner. Right now it's just some Bible study notes in there. Or if someone gives me a paper that I need to reference or look at later, I'll fold it up and stick it back there. And then I might write a note to myself on my day on 2 pages that I need to process that paper when I get home. So yeah, this is a complete and detailed tour of my 2022 planner setup, and currently in an Ali Rayez personal size planner. It's a chunky monkey, and I'm loving every bit of it. So hopefully this gave you some ideas or some inspiration, or if you're just super planner obsessed like I am, then hopefully you had a lot of fun watching the video. I know I love watching planner videos. Have a blessed day.